fallout continues over allegations that a toxic and racist work environment got Gabrielle Union canned from America's Got Talent. And the chief executive of Time's Up is calling out NBC for protecting powerful men. And even former judge from the show, Howard Stern, came for Simon Cowell yesterday. Amazing. Watch.
How is it that that freak, Simon Cowell, has orchestrated this? He has set it up that the men stay, no matter how old they are, no matter how fat they are, no matter how ugly they are, or no matter how talentless they are. He constantly replaces the hot chicks with hotter chicks and younger chicks.
He's got that right, except that he's still calling women chicks, but that's Howard. So he's no Phil Donahue yet, okay, Howard? So what do you think they have to do over there?
Well, it's no secret that I've done a bunch of reporting on a number of media companies, CBS, NBC.
Excellent reporting.
Thank
Pulitzer
you,
Prize-winning reporting.
That means a lot.
Pretty good.
Well, it is thanks to some very brave sources, including a lot of whistleblowers within NBC Universal, which is the parent company of both NBC News and the NBC Entertainment Division, which runs America's Got Talent. It is very clear that source after source is saying there is a systemic cultural problem with this kind of toxicity.
At NBC?
At NBC.
Only
with these
NBC,
kinds of men
not
being
the
protected.
other networks.
No, it is across the board. I mean, look, I have not done reporting on ABC, where we are now, so it remains to be seen. Please stay good, ABC executives. But at CBS, there was a system of protecting guys in powerful positions, even when they were harassing or, propping up a toxic culture that made people feel uncomfortable, like in this story. The same thing is well documented now at NBC. They had a bunch of secret settlements with people with harassment or discrimination complaints. They have refused outside investigations. And I think we're seeing the consequences of what happens when you sweep these kinds of problems under the rug.
Do we underestimate the power of men speaking out? Because it's always women need to speak out more. But when you hear Howard Stern, people are listening. People are hearing what, right? And I wonder if a victim said the same thing that he said, would it be making nearly as much play? Should we be relying on men to come out more? Because they do have, unfortunately, they do have that.
Weinstein allegedly raped a couple of people. Am I correct?
That is true.
So if he had, I'm just making this up now, if he had, say, raped men, that's possible. We see it all the time in certain situations. Would the men be more horrified by it, do you think?
Look, all I can say is that the women who have spoken about Harvey Weinstein did this incredibly brave thing. They have faced blacklisting. I hope Gabrielle Union, in speaking about this to the extent she's able, I know it's difficult contractually, et cetera, doesn't face that kind of backlash. But we are still at a cultural moment where you're absolutely right. We just don't listen to women enough.
Because I just remember we were at Fox and they were going through their tough moment, and NBC seemed to sort of gloat over what was happening. And what's that saying? It's those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And now when you're in a position and you're going through it, it's like, why aren't you responding the way that you should?
What seems to be odd to me is that although NBC News and the entertainment division aren't necessarily related, they are related because the same umbrella company,
That's important to explain.
Is sort of oversees both divisions. And so that means this has to start from the top. And so why aren't we seeing that sort of good corporate governance at the top? Because those same people are responsible for the talent in the news division as well as the entertainment division. So why don't those complaints go up to, who would that be?
There's Steve Burke, the CEO of NBC Universal, has oversight over both, and he has kept some of those men accused of abuse and some of the people who participated in those secret settlements in leadership positions in the news division, and it ultimatly falls on him to decide what happens.
So you're calling him out right now.
With him.
You're calling him out right now on television.
So the buck stops with him. Why does he still have a job?
Because he's the boss.
But the shareholders are the boss.
Well, it's also a family-owned company. I mean, you saw this with CBS, too. There can be an extra layer of resistance to change when you either have a board that is stocked with people who will protect those guys in powerful positions, or you have a family-owned company, which is the case with Comcast, which owns NBC and NBC Universal.
So Comcast.
So Brian Roberts is the owner of Comcast.
I just want to caution that we're not to conflate what happens at America's Got Talent with what you reported on about NBC's sexual harassment suits.
Sure.
They're two separate things. This is really Simon Cowell was smoking. She didn't like it.
No, but she was branded difficult because of her serious complaints. And I think what all of us were so upset about yesterday is men are never called difficult when they complain about things. When women complain about justifiable from this reporting, workplace, hostility and workplace culture, everything she said, I 100% believe and think is fair game to have a conversation with executives about. And in return, she's fired and branded difficult. At the same time, she's bringing in more social media hits and following than any other host at that
Sunny
time.
has a legal
so it
note.
looks.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the fish rots from the head, and what happens in the news division has filtered down to entertainment.
And let's
clearly.
not forget that they also said that her hairstyles were too black for the audience. So there was a racial bias component as well, and I think that is very serious.
And she was ticked off at a joke also that Jay Leno told,
racially insensitive
Go ahead, do your legal note.
Simon Cowell's company Psycho Entertainment released a statement with NBC and Fremantle stating, "We remain committed to ensuring a respectful workplace for all employees and take very seriously any questions about workplace culture. We are working with Ms. Union through her representatives to hear more about her concerns, following which we will take whatever next steps may be appropriate." SAG-AFTRA has also launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding Gabrielle Union's departure.
Well, let's hope that Gabrielle continues to have a very good career and that this backlash is